everybody, welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host Dan, Disembodied Hands Quinty, Disembodied Beard John, Disembodied Ears Cornico, and Disembodied Keyboard Michael. Here we all are today. Yay! Kodiak, I'm sorry to hear that. That's rough when our animals do that. When I was a kid, I was walking our German short-haired pointer, and she caught a bunny, and yeah, it was not a live bunny after that. She was on leash. She actually got it and like I don't know how. It was probably frozen with fear. But yeah, it was upsetting. It was totally upsetting, so I totally get where you are. It's a hard place. They are animals, but it's a hard place. And otherwise, hi everybody. Hello, hello. Hello, our MacBane. I haven't seen you for a while, I think. Not in chat anyway. If you've been lurking, thank you. We love the lurkers just as much as the commenters. Eyeballs are eyeballs. Yes, she is submitting to the Stick subreddit. John has it. I was gonna shave that down. I think I'm just gonna shave it a little bit more today. Yeah, lurker love, exactly. Lurker love. Alrighty, righty. Yeah, I've just been kind of shaving it down because at this scale it is kind of out of scale. So, did a little bit of shaving before. We'll do a little bit of shaving today. We'll slowly whittle it down, literally, just like we were carving wood. Let me get those little bits down there. We're going to cut them off going this way. But yeah, the nice thing is, since, you know, this does kind of carve like wood, so it will look kind of like a whittled stick by the time we're done. So I just want to kind of just keep working on it. I want it to be pretty pointy at the tip, too. More like a stabby stick. I mean, it is a wand, I'm sure, but, you know. If you had a wand and you had to stab somebody with it, you would want it to be sharp. You just never know when you're an adventurer. Oh, Earth and Elemental. Good, good, good. Yeah, I wasn't sure that OSL worked, and I was going to say, John, it's probably too late now. I should have texted you this yesterday, but a better example would have been to grab it from this guy's video. And I might just suggest to you for that basic stuff video where it's everything, the qualities or the etc. of remastered, that you grab some from stream, because they're going to be much better than I can just do. I don't have models I can just whip out layering on necessarily. Yeah, characteristics. I can do base coat for you, and of course the stuff we've done for the layering, or stuff we've done for Earth and Elementals, and the stuff I'm gonna do liners for you today. I decided to just get it all off my plate because I need to work on Patreon, but I can't focus if I've got this pending, so I'm just gonna do it today, and you get it all. But you could just steal stuff from there to use on the characteristics video. But yeah, if you needed a better kind of OSL glazing example, these little crystals on Daryl Brumby are probably the best example. And the model was mostly painted when we did it, so it's just going to be a better thing for the video. I should have thought about it yesterday. It only occurred to me late last night that I have plenty of examples here of various things, and I could probably just refer you to the appropriate video for them. But I'll do the base coat. I'm gonna just use something for the base coat and wash. I'm gonna use the same thing. I'm gonna use the dog from the Mysterious Stranger pack because it's simple in one color, and it's got texture. So we'll show the smooth. I'm gonna prime it, and then we'll show a smooth base coat on it, and then we'll do the wash on it as well. So you'll have that. But with layering, I do it all the time, but it's I don't have a model necessarily set up. I guess I could do a bit of her sleeve. I'll see what I can do. I'm going to do as much as I can for you today, and that's pretty much all the time I've got. Then I have to get back to my other work. But it should be enough for you to at least break up the talking head segments. Alright, so we just carve a little bit more, and then we'll get back into painting her hair. I guess, actually, I could do it in today's video if you want to yank it out of today's video, but the layering. So I'm just chiseling down the tip of this wand. I do want it to be really, really narrow. Needs to be a nicely tapered wand. But yeah, if we just work at this a little bit, every time we come to the model, we'll be able to shave it down bit by bit until we like what the scale is. Because I'd like the rest of it to be more tapered too, but that's where it's at right now. So yeah, we're getting there. And once we paint it with kind of a glowing tip, that'll help. Just going to shave just a little bit more off, and then we'll get on to painting the hair. And I don't care if it's a little bit erratic of a shape, since it's a carved wand. It can be as, rough as it could be. Actually, if I carve it really, really rough, and then I put like some water effects over it, we could even turn it into an icicle. I'd have to shave it way down though for that to make it look like ice, because we'd have to be able to build up water effects on the outside of it. Hey, Grave, good morning. Just cutting down. Yeah, icicle. Yeah, well, I wanted her to be icy. That's why I'm painting her in blues. She's an ice spider queen. But, since she's a drow. But, yeah, that's something to think about. It's going to be a bit of a pain. I would have to shave this way down. I probably would be even, like, better served, honestly, just cutting it off and building up an ice. Well, no, because building it up just with the water effects would mean it wouldn't be firm. It would be very, very, like, floppy. We wouldn't want a floppy icicle. Nobody wants a floppy icicle, guys. But yeah, we could paint it like an icicle, and if we shave it way down, we'll be able to coat it with some water effects to give it more of that feel. And I think that would be probably, I think, the best use for it, given my color scheme, and kind of my concept for her was more of an icy, watery sorceress. Hey, yeah. It's true. John knows it's true. Nobody likes a floppy icicle. But anyway. Yeah. So let's just finish carving away a little bit down here, and then we will alrighty. Then we'll just move on. Good. And then next time we carve, it'll get a little more narrow, but I actually like it's getting decently narrow now, so. Hello, Greek. Oh, no, yeah, because it's, yeah, repetitive motion disorder. No floppy icicles, it's true. Happy birthday, though, yes. Alright, let us get in focus at a decent, and then we will continue work on the hair, which we were working on painting white last time. If you'll recall, it's coming out pretty nice. We've got the rest of the braid to do here, and then she's got little tiny bits of hair coming out right down here. Otherwise, though, this is all like probably cloth sleeves and stuff. I feel like this is all like just cloth, so I need to figure out what color I'm going to be doing it in. Probably the teal for this one right here, with maybe some gold at either end. Looks like she's got little gems hanging off of it. There's a lot of little details to this, because I can see a couple of jewels hanging off of it down here. She's definitely fancy. Definitely court mage, you know? She's got that court maid vibe. Alright, so let's start with the hair color. And that'll be, where's my Black Knight? There we go. That'll be my Black Knight liner prototype. It's a good thing I have extra bottles of this. Like, I'm going to have to ask Benita for extra bottles, because I'm going through it like crazy. I'm using it for everything. Yes, birthday cake is totally... Oh, I was saying that we need to give her, this wand needs to be an icicle. And since I was already planning a spider motif on her, I was calling her an ice spider. Apparently there is a terrible movie called about ice spiders or something like that. You know, the kind of thing that Quindy and Kuro like. I'm kind of reading a philosophy psychology work right now, a book, and translated from Japanese, I think. But it's actually, the psychology is actually European. But yeah, it's interesting because it's talking about how it kind of echoes what I was talking about with painting for competition, how you should find, maybe not should, I mean, some people are just very competitive, right? But if you're not one of those people, if you're not particularly competitive, focusing on something other than the competition can give you a lot more joy in like painting for competition, like painting to participate, right? It's the book points out that like the minute you make it a competition, that means there are winners, but there are also losers, and it inherently sets up a kind of, not really, but kind of a power struggle is a glorified way to put it, but you know, it sets up that feeling of winners and losers. And that makes competition, that's what makes the end of competitions and expectations so hard. But if you go into it with I did this thing, I'm very proud, you know, I'm happy with it. Here's the thing I did. Just share it with the world, right? You go in with that, or with your friends, whatever, whoever cares. But I mean, all those people filing past like the Golden Demon cases or looking at the entries in the ReaperCon, you know, competition room, they're enjoying what they're seeing, right? They're just like purely looking to see the awesome pieces. So yours can be one of those, and that can be your like offering to the con. Here is my awesome piece. Isn't it neat? You know, so it just kind of reaffirmed my belief that that's the way to go. I never liked myself very much when I was a competitive person. Like there are times when I can be competitive. I can pull upon that, but I don't consider it a strength so much. Like it's only a strength if it motivates you to get things finished. Like that's where I feel like competition is a strength where it is. Like the strength of competition is to motivate you to finish and to motivate you to push yourself, right? To be as good as you can be. But the minute that competition turns into making you a winner and someone else a loser, or you being a real jerk because you lost and you hate that feeling, that's where I think it fails, right? That's where it really goes down the not so great route. Just my personal opinion, but it's not the worst spider-related film. Painting for funsies. See, I enjoy painting for competition, but I don't enjoy being competitive, Graves. So I kind of have kind of tried to figure out my brain all along, kind of like what are you getting at, brain? You know, I like to figure out like why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's a really healthy mindset. Like that's the good thing about, that's the really positive thing about competition, and I feel like that's like the sports that when I hear about athletes, like whether it be for the Olympics or, you know, I follow trail running and ultra running. But when you've got the athletes who push each other really hard at the end of the race, you know, like not long ago there was a 100-mile ultra race where, and usually everybody is so spaced out on those, but the last three women came in really close together, like they could see each other, they were trying to beat each other for the last like 10 or 20 miles. Can you imagine that, running like 10 or 20 miles like with two other women there and you're all trying to win this race? But they all like are friends afterward, right? Like they use the competition to push each other to a better performance than they would have been able to do on their own. And then after the race, they sit around and have burgers and drinks, right? You know, together. So that's where I feel like competition is can be a really positive thing. It's where the expectations get in, or where you're trying to beat somebody, like really beat them. Like it becomes less about you're performing better because they're challenging you, and more that, you know, you're actually just trying to beat them down, or trying to be the best, you know, over everybody else, right? That's where you get into kind of the weird mind space. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what the open system rewards, right, Grave? Like that open system competitions, they specifically, I mean, that's why what I use that line every ReaperCon award ceremony because it's the line that Shepard Payne wrote in the original guidelines on how to do open system. It's you're competing against yourself. You're not competing against anyone else. And that means that everybody else entering isn't your enemy, right? They're not your competitor necessarily. They're your friends. So it makes a whole different shift. And some people don't enjoy that. Some people really want that hardcore competition feeling where they can feel like the winner. And those people don't like open system because it doesn't feed that for them. Except for the manufacturer awards. Like manufacturer awards, those are still 1, 2, 3s or 1, 2s or whatever the manufacturer in question is doing. But, but it's just like, like how, but it's how you think about it. It's how you, in some cases, I think it is a choice how you think about it. But yeah, I like to talk about this stuff just because, hey, ReaperCon is coming and I hope everybody's working on their entry. I have decided that I will try to finish her for ReaperCon because I got so close with her. Like, I need to do a bunch of detailing work. I need to finish the birds and I need a plinth. But, like, I feel like I could finish her by ReaperCon even with all my other commitments. And she's been sitting, like, close to done for a while. So it would be really nice to get her done. Musical zombie apocalypse Christmas movie. Okay. Polly is obviously in the same jam with you guys. No, Polly, that's fine. You can be in the Creepy Girls Club. You're now an honorary member. So let's grab some of this Black Knight liner and throw some white in it, guys. So we can work on this hair while I chat with you. I'm enjoying the chat too much today. I'm a chat enjoyer. Yeah, Christmas zombie apocalypse musical does sound pretty awesome, I will say. And I'm just going to put a drop of water there because I'm going to put a white. See, Polly, you are special. Not everybody gets to be in the Creepy Girls Club. There we go. And actually, since I'm not using this as a liner, but as a shader, I'm going to take a brush full of this and just mix it into this to lighten it just a little bit so it can be a more effective shadow. Awesome, Grave. That sounds great. But yeah, I love seeing new people enter. I love seeing lots of people enter. I love it when we break records. I don't care if the award ceremony is an hour and a half. It's just like, challenge accepted. Derek and I tag teaming helps a lot with my throat. Oh, burgundy wine. Oh, and Kara's not here for it. Kara, where are you? You've got a whole box, yes. That's how it usually goes. That's why I was actually looking through my box yesterday, looking for models to paint for John for the stuff he needs from me, and I found Mysterious Stranger, and I realized I was in the mood to paint Mysterious Stranger. Aragorn with dog is what I'm calling it officially. Aragorn really needed a dog. He was way too lonely. I mean, that was proven just because his horse, he got to be such good friends with his horse. But still, that man needed a dog. So I approve of the mysterious stranger. Yeah, Brago. Brago the horse. The actor Viggo Mortensen liked that horse so much he actually bought it after the movie was done. So that horse is now living its best life. You were literally with the Quinty thing, a box as in a room. That's because you guys share a brain. Kuro can't hear me say that, but it's true. Alright, so I'm going to pop this over there. I'm just trying to... I'm going to need a white glaze, too, to make these braids look a little better. Hey, John, clip this for your videos. Let's do a glaze. So glazing this is white glaze, so it's not as poppy, unfortunately, but you could show me glazing over the thing. Watch, it won't work because I'm asking John to clip it. So colored water is what you want. You don't want to clip this part, but I'll explanify. So colored water is what you want. Colored water, like so. Very, very thin. And that's that right there. So now we're going to get this. We're going to get a little bit of that glaze on. And I'm just going to paint it right over the top of the braid. And paint it right over the top of the braid. And I'm going to come back. And I'm going to wick that off a little bit so that it looks lighter at the top. Don't need to wick it so much on the other side. The problem is glazing is a really subtle process, and so you're essentially trying to just put a filter over the top to make these shadows, these bars of shadow, lighter over the whole thing. Just bring the whole thing up a little bit more. There we go. Looking good. There we go. Yep. And you want to wick off any excess afterwards so it doesn't dry weird. But there you go. So now you can see the top of that looks more together, right? And then you can see the bands of hair coming out the bottom. Oh, wow. Polly's got a black cat. Wow. You're in, Polly. You're in. Hey, Valandar. Yeah. Well, you don't want to waste all your brain cells on, work. Where would be the fun in that? All right. Now here we have where we're starting to get into the shadows back here. We want to keep those darker, so probably fade out my white lines a little bit going back there. Same up here, although I don't have much room to fade out up here. Yes, fast typing phalanges. You bought that upgrade? I've been reading too much Lit RPG. Hey there, Thormel. I really appreciated your pictures of the little springtime swamp critters in my Discord. Thank you for posting them. The little salamander and the larva and the frog. Is that a children's book? What are we painting for the 90-day challenge? Did I miss that? Is this still the 90-day challenge I remember? Like, what's the 90-day challenge about? The salamander, the larva, and the frog would be a great Swamp Friends children's book, however. Just the old one. Oh, yeah. Cool. So I'm letting this fade a little bit as it gets down here. I'm using the glaze that I just got. I'm kind of mixing it with my my thinned white, and it's giving me kind of a layering consistency, so I'm still able to suggest the strands going down here, but I'm not making them nearly as bold as they are up on the top. So we keep those shadows to outline the braids. We also want to make sure we get the top of each of these little knots of hair. So the top should be strong. Oh, John hasn't put up the new one yet. Got it. That's because John kind of has a Kickstarter to worry about, guys. He's got to deal with this annoying person who's supposed to get him clips for videos who hasn't done it yet. And then who tries to get him to just take it out of her videos instead of, like, actually giving it to him in easy mode. Just because she's a whiner. It's definitely because he doesn't love us. Oh, alright. Fine. Be that way. I got my Kickstarter video filmed yesterday. It's very short. It's just like, hey, there's a Kickstarter. This is how the waves work. This is how shipping will work if you're worried about winter. This is the great deal it is. Here's the link. Go get it. It's pretty much my Kickstarter video. So once that's up, guys, I think I'm not going to post it just to the Patreon because it's an extra. I'm going to just post it straight to YouTube. Hopefully today if I get time to edit it. It shouldn't take much editing. And once it's up, guys, I'm going to ask y'all to go and just, you don't even have to watch it, just, play through it and hit a like. Because it's going to make the YouTube algorithm grab it faster. So we want to push the signal. The faster the YouTube algorithm grabs it, the more it will push it. Yeah, smash that like button. I never do that. And it's probably best practice to tell people to do that, but I don't respond to that as a YouTube person. Like, I just like it if I want to support the person and if I liked the video. Like, them telling me to smash the like button doesn't do anything. Yeah, so I'll let you guys know once it's up. Probably we'll talk about it tomorrow. And hopefully it will go out to all of my little followers, my 2,000 little followers, and hopefully a decent percentage of them will see it. And if it gets enough likes, then it'll get pushed farther out than just my followers, which we can all cross fingers for. And hopefully end up getting a decent amount of new pledges in for Reaper. All them videos, yeah. Yeah, it's important though. Like, Reaper and I really appreciate your support when we do stuff like that. You can start the revolution. It's good. All right, I'm just glazing again up here. Again, you can see how the hair is starting to look really nice as I bring in those glazes on just the upper parts of these braids. It all starts to come together. I also need to do a glaze up here on top of the netting, which I'm going to do probably right now. Just going to glaze over the top. just the very tippy top. Then I'm going to rinse out my brush, real quick dry it off, just on a paper towel or whatever. I tend to use my jeans if I'm in a hurry, don't judge me. And I'm just going to take off all that little excess. Just going to touch it right down there in little cracks. And hopefully it will be good. I'll just, you can see how this is darker, and now you can see how that has lightened up the netting, and now it looks more volumetric, and that's what we want. Remind people like, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good thought. All right, Quindy. I'll remind people. It always feels awkward to me, but I get that. I get that it's best practice. And you're right, people are watching on mobile a lot. I tend to watch on my laptop because I'm usually watching YouTube on my lunch hour, and that's, I'm sitting at the kitchen table eating my lunch. So it makes more sense to use the regular computer. It's right there. Again, we're just taking off any little excess here. And we're just using a real light touch. We don't want to totally wipe it off. We just want to put the tip of the brush in, and it'll just kind of slurp off that little bit of extra paint. And I'm going to do kind of a layering stroke with the glaze over the edge of that area. And there we go. That's going to help give us our light and shadow a little bit better. If I need a little bit more, I can do a kind of a spot glaze over where I feel like I didn't get enough color. No memes. You know me. I'm not terribly a memer. Well, it depends, Polly. Are you going to game? I mean, you can certainly, sit down and play a board game with somebody without having a gaming pass, if it's not an organized game. But if you want to do any of the organized games, then I believe you need the gaming pass. John can confirm that, probably. So it really depends on what you're going to be doing with your con. If you are going to be mostly taking classes, just get the weekend, sign up for classes and games with that badge. Oh, okay, that's good. Oh, so the gaming badge is just if you don't want to do anything else, you just want to game? Ah, okay, wine totally. Yeah, well, all right. Well, see, John was the more knowledgeable resource, just as I surmised. You know what? I think I want the tassels down here to be white, too. Maybe I'll do that. I feel like maybe. Oh, well. Anyway, more braid, too much talk. Alrighty, so once again we're using our thinned white to hit these little strands. Yes, it's true. Right. I mean, there's no rule that you can't watch a game being played. If you're going to enter my beloved painting competition, though, you need a regular badge, Polly. And of course you want to enter my beloved painting competition, don't you? You still have over 4 months to paint something. Hey, Roger. And Twisted Oma. Alrighty, so then we're really getting to the point where here I was glazing on the top of the braid, here I was glazing more on the middle. Here, down here though, we're glazing more on this area because everything else is wrapping around. Yeah, pretty much Jedi hand wave. That's mostly probably because they don't see you, Quindy. You always forget to deactivate your invisibility. Or maybe you just want to be that ghostly voice saying, "Wow, Park Place, excellent." As the player unnervingly, casts unnerving looks over their shoulders. Unnerved looks, rather. Actually, that's why it took Quindy so long to get her Hall of Fame shirt. Ron had to actually enchant it so it would go discorporeal for her, and it took a while. And if you doubt that Ron has the ability to go incorporeal, or to influence magic that does so, you obviously never have been around Reaper when you're looking for Ron and he's suddenly nowhere to be found. Nobody really ever defends Ron, Quindy. I mean, it went from Reaper policy to, blame Ron to, Reaper policy to throw Ron under the bus. Just a different form of blame, really, since he now has a different, job title. He traded one form of bus throwing for another. That's because you also have the incorporeal power. He's not invisible to you. Yes. If I keep talking about him, I'm going to summon him or something, so. Our summoning Kara didn't work. She must actually be working. Or her brain is imploding because of something. But now that she's freelance. So just bringing in a real lightweight white to do the initial strokes, and then we'll keep bringing it up, and then we'll do the glaze so that we get the body of the hair looking good. My chicken is done cooking. In about 15 minutes I'm going to have to leave you guys briefly to pull it out because I put it in for a pretty long time today already. but it won't take me very long to pull it out of the sous vide. So yeah, we'll just sketch in these guys, and then we'll do our glazing and our other stuff. There you are! Yay! We were trying to summon you earlier. Somebody suggested that, I think it was Marichu suggested that a mini that had been sat on for a while and not painted but was still beloved was, you know, had merely aged like a good wine, and somebody said like a good Burgundy wine. I thought for sure that would have summoned you, Kara, but obviously you were busy. The ritual worked, yes. Invoking. It was Grave who invoked the Burgundy wine. Obviously a cultist. That's the next Burgundy wine shirt. It has to be hashtag obvious cultist and then, you know, Burgundy wine. So yeah, I'm taking my thinned white and I'm just doing real light lining. And we're gonna, you can see that it's much bolder up here, and we'll make it a little bit better down here in a little bit. Yay, Reaper Discord. Down here I'm trying to do actually 2 little lines for each strand, just because there's only like 2 instead of 3. I like the more hair-like notion. I've also split this one into 2, you can see. So when I can make these look a little less like chunks, like when I can introduce an extra strand, it helps. I thought you had more important work going on, Kara, than to give us eyeballs. Give us your eyeballs. In your eyeball jar. Ah, I see. You're gonna paint Kana in a sec. Good. That's nice. Sweet. If I feel, by the way, that I've kind of lost my shadow back here, guys, I can always grab that color again and kind of glaze that over the white. So if I go too far back with my white lines and I need to, let's just do that and then I can show you how to correct it. You know what? I feel like I'm just a little out of focus. Yeah, we're good. All right. So let's put a little bit of strong white going back into the shadow here and say, oh no, I put strong white in my shadow, lack-a-day. What am I gonna do? Now it doesn't look right. Oh noes. Let's do it again down here. Sometimes when you're on autopilot, you just kind of do that, kind of do stuff like that, and you're like, dope. All right, so now we got too much white down there. We need to fade that in. The proudest of dads, indeed. Has Graves seen the little goth one that Quindy has? The little goth maggot? So if I want just a little bit of glaze, I can just mix a tiny bit up here. Just want to make sure that we've got it thin, like that. And then we're just going to paint that over this white here. Just get that in there. I'm going to make sure I get all of that area. Again, I'm going to rinse out my brush and come back in and just kind of pull off any little excess bit. And if it isn't quite dark enough, we can go back in there. We can even use the glaze kind of as a layering tool. So we can also grab just a little bit and paint that right over. And just like before, since the glaze is a little bit light to be layering with, usually, you can grab a little bit of the actual, like, not glaze, the heavier coat, and just mix that into your glaze to make it just a little bit more solid for layering. And I can go over those stripes, and then that's all good. Of course, Goth Maggot operates below the radar. It's Quindy's maggot. We were just talking about incorporeality and Quindy. All right. Get a little bit more. We've almost got all of these little guys painted in. Then we can put some glazings in. Yeah, it's a chill day here on the stream. Not a whole lot going on. I ranted a little bit about competition painting earlier, you know, like you do. So I'm actually kind of bummed that I didn't buy more of that Too Thin Coats paint by Duncan Rhodes when I was at Adepticon, because it turns out that of all the paint lines that I have tried, I probably like this paint the best. It's actually really close to MSP, guys. So now I'm thinking I might have to order a couple more colors. Y'all might get that as the color workshop for my Patreon this month instead of doing more MSP 2.0, just because I've been messing with them, and because of these videos I'm doing for John, I'm a little bit behind on my $5 PDF, so I might have to do my review of Too Thin Coats first, and then get to the greens in May. At that point, some of you, pretty shortly, several of you are going to have your paint in hand. Like, by the time I get to, like, blues, MSP 2.0 is probably going to be in your hands. At least some of you. You were too silly of a bean. Yeah, you know. Yeah, GD is hard. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if I can do it. Oh, you could bring it, Kara. You could bring it. Your problem would be like finding a model that you really, really liked. I think getting a good idea. The problem is that silly doesn't win. So you're right, silly being a silly bean. You brought the gnome. Oh, you can do that. Yeah, the gnome Blood Bowl team. That's silly enough. Blood Bowl is certainly silly enough. I mean, Val, if you look at it, the paint is like, yeah, we said we were shipping it later, but Ron has said, I believe, on Reaper Live that we're getting it out as fast as we can. It really just depends on how fast Bonita can mix it. If she can, you know, get things done by June, you know, June or end of June, like, you know, who knows? With a lot of labor, it's possible. The question is, will we have a lot of labor? If we won't have a lot of labor, then the original thing stands. But you should not ask me that. Remember, I am not at Reaper. I am not the person who knows. But Ron has said that there was a chance if the Kickstarter. I don't think the Kickstarter has gone as big as it needs to go, though, so I would say probably shipping is the original estimate, unless things change. How do you ruin people's day? That's true, Quindy. I mean, I'm still working on Lion, Laura. My plan was to do Lion for sure, and then whatever else. I have a couple of other... I also have a Blood Bowl entry, because I like Skaven. Hypothetically. I bought something for Necromunda. I bought something for Blood Bowl. I have several models I could think of doing for fantasy, but they're probably all too intensive as far as the workload. Remember, for Blood Bowl, this screwed some people this year. But for Blood Bowl, it has to be an individual or a team. Like, read the rules. Some people did little kind of mini dioramas that featured, like, almost a Blood Bowl duel, you know, like with two teams in kind of opposition or two models from different teams. That was not actually in the rules, and they ended up getting reclassed to diorama, and they didn't get anything. Or duel, depending. So do read the rules. I'm doing some glazing now to bring these up. Then I need to go rescue my chicken from the pot. Yeah, do a solo, lady, yeah. Yep, easier to do a solo. Far easier. Yeah, I just wanted to warn you. David was very incensed about it, and I'm like, well, the rules are clear. It's a shame that it happened, but... But yeah, I'm not into like doing big conversions, sculpting, and crazy talk. I'm not aiming for insanity. I just want to have a couple of really well painted models that I can enter. That's kind of how I am interested in interfacing in GD right now, is well painted minis. Not converting. Maybe a little nicer base, but we'll see. What? Cornico. Or sorry, Quindy. Yes, rules grumble grumble. You don't enter Golden Demon unless you're willing to to go by the rules. I mean, Blood Bowl is fun. You could I think there's still the Blood Bowl game on Steam, which is pretty entertaining if I recall and feels like playing the game. But it's a GW game. It's fantasy football. Very loosely. Yeah, I used to play Skaven. I played a lot of things when I worked in a game store. There we go. So we've glazed nicely. We kept our darker shadows down the middle. If we decide that that dark shadow is too dark, we can do a big glaze. I see. Yeah, we could do a big glaze. So let's see here. I don't want to necessarily... Though I think I kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit too dark. Blue, 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 blue. Sound effects free. I'm grabbing a dry brush for this, bigger one. And we're just gonna get it in there. We're gonna pull that out, pull the pooling out. You want to leave a residue. You don't want to wipe it. That's why I always kind of like tap it, dab it out. You never want to wipe the glaze out of there. There. And now look. So you still have a shadow, but the shadow is now lighter, uniformly lighter. And that is what glazing does for you. Like, I didn't have to do a ton of work to do that. I could, in fact, do it up here on this knot. Oh, I need to do this side of the knot. Oh, let me go and pull my chicken out of the pot. Hold on, guys. I'll leave you to stare at that that braid for a second. Ah, actually, no, she says. No, I don't want to balance on my wand. Okay, hold on. 1 second. I'll be back in just a little bit. Good girl. There we go, all out of the water. The chicken is rescued. Yes, that is a California towhee. They have a really metallic sounding chirp. They are the biggest sparrow in California. They are, I call them fat birds. They are brown with little bits of orange on them, and they have that really like single piercing, very metallic sounding chirp. And they're also the clumsiest birds ever. Like, if you ever want to see a bird that like isn't like looks like it isn't sure it actually knows how to fly, watch a towhee trying to take off. Like, they seem like they're fumbling their way through the air. I'm sure you'll come up with something awesome, Kara. So getting these little bits that we forgot over here, or that I forgot anyway. the hair goes behind wrappers here, Isu. So this just like this is a hairnet and a cap up here, this is actually a wrapper. It's not actual hair. And this also is a wrapper. So this is fabric, essentially. And then it goes down to, we'll get down here in a second, where the actual hair comes out. You might be able to paint this as hair, but I suspect it is actually not hair because it doesn't have the lines. It doesn't have the strands. So a medieval wrap would typically be something like this. Yeah, it's a hair wrapper. Yep, yep. Yeah, so we're going to do colors here. Probably just black with gold around it or silver around it here, but this will be teal. So it'll be this aqua color. We'll be doing that here. But yeah. Yep, hair wrapper. Very medieval hairstyle. Very, very medieval, classical. I need to make more glaze. I've used it all up. And I need to add some water to my white. Ye old braids, indeed. I like it. It's different. It's nice to paint something different every once in a while. And I want to get this in a little bit more. Yeah, we'll get this going on. That in there, a little bit more of that in there, a little bit of white there. All right, so make sure I've got everything figured out in here. Too much. Didn't enter this year to spare your feelings. Yeah, I don't know what I'll have done. I mean, it all depends on how long it takes me to get Lion done and whether I have the oomph to paint in other than my stream time. Plus, I want to get the creepy dog horses done for Creature Casters competition. Like right now, I think Lion and the creepy dog horses are my two priorities. And depending on how we progress on Lion, then I'll add in another demon model, depending on how much time I feel like I've got. We made good progress. I mean, we got quite a bit. Like, we were kind of busting along on Lion this weekend, so this past weekend. We need more girls to kick ass in Golden Demon, Kara, so I'm very, very happy that you're considering entering. It would absolutely make it double a bit because, you know, Blood Bowl is the football category, traditionally dominated by men, and if 2 girls came in and won it, that would be pretty awesome. I actually do think it would be pretty damn hilarious if women won the blood, like if 2 or 3 women won Blood Bowl. Like, we shut out the guys. It would be hilarious. Alrighty. Looking better there. But yeah, I know. No, Kaha does need. That's when I was at the award ceremony. That was all I was thinking, Grave, is that, damn it. There used to be a lot more of us. Right? When I was competing at Golden Demons, there were a lot more women. And in the years since, it seems like things have died down and become a boys' club again, and I just won't have it. Like, it's time to bring it back. A little bit dark back here still, so I'm going to actually glaze back here too. So I'm doing a lot of white glazing. To smooth things out, to bring things up a level, to knock shadows a little lighter. I find that the Games Workshop specialist games, like Mordheim, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, are really fun. Like, they're not as much of an investment, which is why they don't get the money support from the company. But, in my experience, they have all been very fun to play, seriously. Good, good, Michael. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta bring it back, girls. Come on. We get enough of us, we should get our own Discord. Where we can encourage each other and give feedback. Alrighty. Yeah, that looks nice. Sweet. This side's a little bit more neglected. I need to... This got mucky, and I didn't get all my strands down there. Mordheim is my absolute favorite. I haven't ever played Warcry, but Mordheim is my 100%. Used to always play. We ran multiple Mordheim leagues in my old game store. %100% favorite. So just kind of eyeballing where I need to darken things, where I need to lighten things. Some of the strands got a little bit too kind of glommed together there. It goes a little bit further back on this side, so that's a little better. Excellent. Nice, Lizana. I mean, we're lucky at ReaperCon that we have so many great female mini painters, like that women are like 50% of the people who enter. I love that. I love that so much. I just wish we could get a little bit more exposure in the other competitions. We'll see if the Pigment Miniatures show really grows into like what they want it. They want it to be Monte Sansovino, which is the biggest, or I should say the most prestigious European show right now, other than Golden Demon. If it grows into that, I might have to make sure I go down and enter. Just because, again, we got to bring the girls back in. There we are. I think that's better. Well, yeah, Kara, that's the draw, right? All right, where is my mermaid scale? No, Siren Song.
Was it Siren Song I was using or Mermaid Scale? What the hell was I using? Merfolk Scale? Was it Merfolk Scale? I think it was Merfolk Scale. Yeah, it was Merfolk Scale. Hey there, Gildebrush. It's alright. We're talking about how women need to come back and dominate more in miniature painting competitions like we used to back when it was me and Marika and Jennifer and Liliana and Jessica and, you know, various excellent female miniature painters. And Sue and Noelle. And the older crowd. We had a gang. We had a gang who went around. Nope. Every model on the planet, seriously. You can paint, you can enter whatever you want. It's open system, and open system is usually open to everything. Got a little bit on the back of this sleeve I need to get here. All right. Yes, if you want to, it has to be, if you're going to go for manufacturer awards, and Reaper does have a manufacturer award, then it must be Reaper Mini to qualify for a Sophie Trophy. And there are manufacturer awards done by a lot of other companies, like Bombshell and Dark Sword, I think still does. I'm not sure on that. I don't remember. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. But there are many companies that, I think Midnight Heroes does one. A lot of manufacturer awards. It's worth looking at the manufacturer awards. Oh, and Kana. Kana and Moonlight Minis both do competitions, I think. So, yeah, so you can paint, you can have a chance, if you paint a lot of different manufacturers, like you could qualify for a lot of individual awards as well as just the general medal competition. Alrighty. Since she's icy, I don't want to use gold on her. I think I'm going to actually just bring my teal up to here. Because I don't want to use silver so close to the hair, because the hair is so close to silver. Oh, excellent, Michael. Good to know. Yeah, it's nice to see so many of the manufacturers taking it seriously and really thinking about, like, what they want to award, you know. So you definitely want to read their guidelines once they have it. Like, Moonlight really wants to see a story in their entries that they award. So a well-painted model isn't necessarily enough. It needs to be, there needs to be a story to it somehow. Unless they've changed that, but that's where Christine was at last time I talked to her. And the story doesn't have to be something overt. For example, David placed in her competition with a model that he thought looked a lot like a Buffy character, and so he painted one of her models as Willow, and that was enough story for it to take an award. So it doesn't need to be a lot. Bombshell, yeah, Bombshell does dog tags. It's awesome. Somewhere around here I have some Bombshell stuff. I really should paint something. But man, at this point, I need to, like, shepherd my energy. Alrighty. So, and that's going to be silver. And I could probably do this dagger sheath in the turquoise. Because it's up against the blue, so I need to do it in different colors. So we'll do turquoise and silver. Yeah, they are really nice. Bombshell, Pat and Vicky are really nice, really good people. They are lovely humans. And they did really well at Adepticon, which I'm so happy about. So they have great minis. A large monster. Kara? Yeah. Yeah, I know, because the large monster trophies are, like, really good. I always thought the Mouseling trophies were the best. So that's something to bring up, too. Reaper also does an award for a large monster, and they also do Mouseling. And the Mouseling trophy is a little Napoleon mouse on the rearing horse, which is super fantastic. Yeah, trophy bucket list for sure. Yeah, yeah, they have a lot of cute stuff and cool stuff. So yeah, definitely take a look at Bombshell. They are a Texas company too. They're local to ReaperCon. Pat and Vicky Reaper used to help them out by giving them casting space when they needed it in our casting room. But yeah, so definitely good people. Definitely support them. They're very cool. Think about painting mouselings. Think about painting monsters. Big monsters. Bigishers. The trophy for large monster is like a Cthulhu type beast that Kevin sculpted. Because Kevin loves monsters. I think I'm going to do this one teal as turquoise as well. And then we'll go down and do this hair. Filling in some stuff. You have to do heavy conversion or sculpting. Yeah, Lisana. So, open, historically, in the open competition at historical cons, yes, it was often, it's for scratch sculpts. But ReaperCon is not a con that's full of people sculpting their own models. So for us, it has to be like a heavy conversion, not just a weapon swap. It could be a head swap if the head swap was difficult. But what we're going to judge you on is the quality of your conversion / sculpting work. Like how well, can we see the join? We're gonna be looking at that. So the more sculpting on the piece, the better. And basing is not like sculpting. Like if you do a big display base, it doesn't qualify for open. But if you do a model that has had stuff converted and or sculpted on it, or you do, say, I think 3D sculpt that you print. I don't know. Do we know that? Do we know the ruling on that for 3D sculpting? John, do you know? There we go. 3D counted. All right, 3D is fine. Oh, you've done it every year. Yeah, so you can also 3D sculpt something. Yeah, but open is for that because that's a legit part of the hobby, and that's what open is good. So if you do a conversion that's really clever, and then you do a display base for it, that could easily be. But we need to be able to judge a sculpting component. And if you do enter open, you want to typically note on your entry card what you did, or do a little index card next to the piece that tells what you did so that the judges can know where to look. Otherwise, they may not understand that whether it's a scratch sculpt or it's a conversion or it's a whatever, or what did you actually convert, So make it easy for us. We'll have looked at hundreds of miniatures at that point. There we go. All right, so turquoise beads at the bottom. All right. Now let's get these. Now there is a bit of filler here. This is not hair here. The braid actually kind of goes up under the cloth. So this is just a piece of, it needed to happen to make the model mold correctly. I'll probably paint it as stone. They have you fill out a form now. Okay. There we go. Great. That's great that compendium is a thing. Thank you, Quindy. Thank you for the link on that. I didn't know that existed. I do is show up and judge. And I enter. I always bring at least one model. Because I wouldn't be sitting there poking at you guys to enter without entering myself. I might also enter Ghoul King. Just because I think he turned out really well. That's a bummer, Trash. I get it, though. Life happens. Life be lifin' sometimes. Alright, so now we've got these little hairs. And the one that's under here is kind of in the shadows. So I'm going to mix a little bit of my light gray with the white and get something that's a little darker than pure white to do these hair strands. One called a Burgundy wine. Cool. Yeah, I told David he was just trying to figure out his classes for Kubla Khan, so he hasn't gotten to the Reaper Khan yet. Not sure what he'll be teaching. And I will not be teaching because, lastly, for the last several years, I haven't been teaching and I still have felt like I had a lot to do because of the competition. So I think I'm at a good balance right now with the judging and the award ceremony and just giving people feedback at the table. Be careful on that. Ask yourself, Lisanna, does it really add to the story or are you adding clutter? And ask yourself also, when you add details to the base, are you distracting from the mini? Use that as kind of a balance. Having interesting details on the base is very cool, but if you put too many, or they're too bright, or they're too distracting, you're distracting from the model. Also gives you more things that you need to paint to a top level. Bases in the painting category don't matter. They don't matter for more than 5% out of 100. So 1 point out of 20, maybe. And it's more like, it's usually, did they paint the base? And is the base okay? Does the base not distract from the model? So, yeah. So remember, if you're entering painters, the base doesn't count for much. You should put more time into the model. Remember that the difference, I did a PDF on this for the Patreon, but remember that the difference between, like, certificate and bronze is usually neatness. Often we'll have paint that's, like the shirt color is getting onto the skin tones, or the paint on the hands is getting on the sleeve or whatever, or on the weapon. Neatness is definitely the key to getting to bronze. Silver, we're going to be looking a lot more at your shading and highlighting and how well it's done, right? Did you do a good job of it? Did you demonstrate different techniques? Like, you can get away with bronze with, dry brushing and a wash if the model is neat and well done. But when you get to silver, that's when we want to see a little bit more from you. We want to see details too. Like all the details on the model should be crisp. So that's what gets you to silver. And then what gets you to gold is mastery. Mastery of techniques. And mastery of whatever, you don't have to paint it in a certain style. You can paint in comic book style, which isn't smooth at all. You could paint with a ton of textures, or you could do smooth blending. But to get to gold, you have to show that you have your chops, right? You know how to use those techniques. You are very, confident in your style. So if you are a bronze painter who is trying to get to silver, focus on shading and highlighting, still focus on neatness, and make sure you paint the details. Show us that you can paint the details. Oh yeah, I wondered what what you would be doing, green users. I actually, Bob always had those great basing classes, and you did too with like the tree class and stuff. But I was actually mucking with Milliput yesterday, just precisely for that reason. I used Milliput to fill the gaps on Kitty instead of doing green stuff. So I'm interested to see what you're going to be doing. But yeah, you can absolutely paint in like a cartoon style or a comic book style, or even a kind of like any of, like, you could do pointillism, you could do whatever. You don't have to do smooth blending to win. But whatever technique you choose, you'd better be, if you're aiming for gold, you need to be good at it. And same with silver. Like, we have to be able to tell this is a purposeful choice on your part and that you are executing it decently. Yep. Make sure the style is consistent across the entire model. Yes. Exactly. See? Kara's got it. She's talking about it. Yeah, if you stop, if you're not consistent, that's what mastery is. Like, understanding what you're using, right? Understanding the techniques and the style that you're reaching for. So yeah, if you're using edge highlighting and if you're using lining, and that's kind of how you're defining your comic style, you need to use it across the whole thing. You need to be consistent. Show that you understand how that technique translates to shadows as well as highlights. There we go. Alrighty. Lovely. And yeah, it's time to end stream. Perfect. Lovely. So we got all the braid done and the little bits of hair coming down there. We at least got some colors blocked in on the back there. We're moving along. Excellent. So yay. Maybe next time we'll work on some highlights on the teal. I feel like I want to maybe highlight some teal. Okay. So that's my stream, and we carved away more of the stick too. We're making the stick narrower, slowly, bit by bit. But I think her hair is looking really nice. We need to do the spider on the top of her head. And I'm thinking about like spider stuff on the sleeves, maybe a spider border on the dress. I'm thinking I'm gonna pop a light blue in here as an accent also. More icy. But we'll see. I don't want it to get too close to the hair and stuff. But yeah, bye Crowley. It was good to see you. Yeah, sure guys. Hopefully it was instructive. I think she's coming along really, really nicely. So happiness. So tomorrow we are back up because we don't have a basing day right now because I don't really have anything to base so much. But I guess it counts as basing day because we're working on the basing for Mr. Ghoul King. And remember, we were doing some blood drops and stuff last time, and we've got to keep working around the model. So yeah, so that's what we're working on tomorrow. He's so pretty. So show up tomorrow, guys. Show up tomorrow for Ghoul King. He wants to be your friend. He wants to be your friend. And he needs more blood splatters. So yeah, I hope you have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you then. And Quindy, thank you for modding, and John also. And I will see you later. Bye.